It is Monday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, a few minutes in front of 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern. The market opens in a little bit more than 30 minutes. And here are levels on the SPY chart that we will use to trade the E-minis. And what's interesting is after the market closed, well, it was Sunday, then the pre-market, the ES, the futures opened and just rocketed higher, and they went above the former all-time highs. And then when the SPY opened, they, like earlier this morning, the pre-market, they were up high where the futures were, and they've been dripping down lower. They got above the former all-time highs, right above 526, and then they're coming back down. So what's interesting about that, I think, and just my opinion, is that on Thursday, when the market closed, there was some indication of some pretty strong institutional selling. So apparently there was a destination higher. I'm not saying they're going to keep going down after that little push there, but the writing on the wall on some of my indications on Thursday, the last time the market was open, because the market was closed on Friday for the Good Friday holiday, was that there was some pretty strong selling, and that would typically push price down. So we'll see. And as a result of this and all the other things we've talked about in the last few days, week or so, is that because of the timing and other things, and the levels really aren't too spread out, that I will be treating these a little cautiously, 1 or 2 ES contracts, if and when the spiders get to them, which I'm sure they will. They're currently at 524.08. And we'll take a look at all the trades taken in the E-minis after the market closes this afternoon. See you then. It's almost 12 hours later, and the institutional selling that we talked about this morning did take place. Price was pushed down, and it just so happened that right after 9:45, price was above 526, 524.06. The operating level was 524.11. So a long position was triggered here because, that's the plan. You don't know if they're going to go higher. I'd rather be on the short side, so willing to ride this up and go short at the next level if that was what they were going to do. But this long trade didn't work out. They fell out from here, and this the low here of this candle when they came into the next level, 523.12 would have been the operating level with the 5-cent buffer applied, and they got within 1 penny. I actually got in there right here manually. I'll show you this when we look at the live recording, or the recording that was made in real time, and then jumped out because, like I said, there's a lot of signs going on that I really wanted to be on the short side of this. So I got a little bit on this, but not a full base hit. But just as well, I'm going to explain what would have happened if you just treated these levels like by the rules without taking some liberties and looking at other indications and saying, hey, something else is going on. I'm going to jump out a little bit early and taking less than a 4-point base hit. And yes, you would have lost some 13 points or so as it fell out, but you would have gained some on the reversal. There was a base hit here, pretty clean jump from here, a bounce from that area. They came up short here, but enough time had lapsed between here and when they came back to visit this level again, it was worth a retry. So it was a base hit there. So all told, there would have been a fumble, some loss of points, a gain of a base hit, a gain of a base hit. Net ending in the green. I will show you what I did, and we'll compare the two. Here is a recording of what I did. So notice the clock in the lower right-hand corner, 9:45. They were above this level. So that's triggered at 524.11. They came back into it right there. And I had 2 contracts looking to get 4 points in the ES. That would be $400 with 2 contracts, but they continued lower. Had a line in the sand here. The 523.71 is my fumble threshold. And let me just scrub ahead because they did get back in the money a little bit, but never got up to the base hit. So it was in the green for a little bit, but they kept falling. So I'm adjusting the chart here. So there's a pretty big spike here. This coincided with a 10 o'clock data release, which I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Went and looked at it after the fact when I saw this movement. Didn't think it'd have that much of effect, but it did. Pushed price down. And I guess let me pause this right now. I have to back up because you see I'm already long for at this point. I bought when I got down here, but remember I told you this was a penny short? So it didn't trigger and it bounced, and I just jumped in manually, bought 2 as they were on the way back up. So I didn't get the precise point there. I did that manually so you don't see. So I'm long 2. I'm going to pause this. I backed it up a little bit. I'm going to hit play. And when I hit play, I want you to watch. I'm long 2. They get down here, hit this, and immediately it looks like it triggers at the level, but it doesn't. It was a penny off. I bought and it went back up on the way back up. So here we go. Play in now. Long 2. Now I'm long 4. So looking for slightly, this is, since I didn't get the precise entry point, this is a approximate 4-point base hit here, but you'll see me adjust this down because I started getting a lot of signals that I really did not want to be on the long side. Once I got the money, I was just happy to take a slight base hit. So it wasn't very much, you'll see. So I got back up pretty close to the 3 or 4 points or so. I moved the profit target down where they would get it a little lower, right coming up in a moment. Right there. So I moved it down. So instead of 4 contracts for 4 points, it was just a few points here, and I ended up just closing it out manually around $200 and something like that. So that was that. Both levels are satisfied in my opinion, or not in my opinion, they were, because that was a trade there, just was a penny off. So I entered it manually, and jumping out here early and just taking less than a base hit was the right decision, because like I said, there are indicators that I have that were telling me that price was going to go lower, and I wanted to be on the short side. So, but here's the thing: when you have a pretty strong push downward today, like we had a lot of days that went sideways, but when you have a day like today where it looks like there is some pretty more heavy duty selling going on, and you want to be on the short side, the reactions at the levels typically are strong enough when there's a battle between bulls and bears to go ahead and grab a base hit. So I'm okay to go long, every time they hit a level. Obviously, being short all the way down is ideal, but you never know how far they're going to go. And they're all important levels. So anyway, that being said, the next level down was 522.15. Let me scrub ahead, and you'll see I can get down there. And I think I put a level that I identified. No, first I got this one. I just grabbed one contract because they're trading against the grain, so to speak, against the trend. So I'm just being a little careful. So I grabbed one base hit there with one contract. And here, this is when I added 521.70. So I'm willing at this point to buy all these levels. I was going to buy one here. If I continue down here, buy another one. If I continue down lower, I'd buy another one. And they got down to here, and the trigger I had in the system, I had keyed it in wrong. It was a kind of an and or type of thing, and I wanted both, but it just ignored this one. And I did not get filled the first time. On this one, you'll see because it bounced off. We looked at this earlier, so I'll scrub ahead and show you. Gets down to 521.70, which once again was not a level that we had on the board this morning. I just identified it in real time. Thought I'd be willing to buy there, kind of treating that whole area as a zone, and went through without triggering my trade. So unfortunately, wasn't in this, and they came up short the first time of 521.29, pulled up, would have given a base hit on that combined position pretty easily. Right there, as you can see. And when it came back down to 521.29, I was not at my computer and I didn't take this trade. But per the rules, you would have bought again at 521.29, and I'm just going to show you them bounce up way more than you needed to get a base hit on that combined position. Or if you just had this one level, that's all you needed. You wouldn't have had this middle level if I hadn't provided it. Didn't have provided those this morning on my subscriber list. So you had the levels that worked the majority of the time. And we'll take a look at the tracking log, and I'll talk through a couple other things. But first, just to give you a visual here, long trade here that didn't work out. When it came down here, I jumped in. You saw that happen. So I had a combined position, jumped out a little earlier than I would have, what I needed to get a base hit. Worked out because they continued farther down. Jumped in here for a long trade. That was a base hit and missed it here. And the second time, base hit. So in the tracking log, we're going to look at the theoretical trades where you would have lost 13 and a half something points and then gained some back and ended the day in the green. Then I'm going to show you what my trades actually look like. Because as we talked to the other day, I have the original tracking log, and this is the trades based on the rules where you would have entered the long position. It would have averaged in with the next level down. You would have fumbled and lost 6.75 points. So on the combined position, so 13.5 total, but you would have had, misspelled this here, you would have had combined a base hit on the reversal and then the other 2 base hits, so 16 total. So you would have ended the day in the green, depending on what you were trading. What I did was I averaged in, but I just jumped out early, and it was being slightly more than a point based on the reversal. That was the base hit, basically, calling it a 1.25 point base, and then a base on the second level, third level down, and I did not touch the this one, or didn't get this trade here at 521.24. So after commissions, plus I traded 2 at 1, level and one on the other level. So it was not, the most cleanest thing in the world, but it was $500 minus commission. So 470, 468, something like that. So those were my trades. And I know there were a number of you, the list is growing, who received these levels this morning. And if you were able to trade them, I hope you were able to do well. I understand that you may not have had all the information you need to know what to do if you get on the wrong side of the trade and it starts going against you. But I think, if you've watched these videos, you probably have a general idea here, but there will be a lot more, or the complete comprehensive rules and parameters of how to manage these trades once the trading course is complete. Unfortunately, I had a very full weekend, busy with a couple other things, a funeral out of town, and then another out of town, 2 different states on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to pick up some things that I needed to pick up. And by the time I got back Sunday evening, I just got an hour worth of work done on the trading course. So I'm a little behind still where I wanted to be at this point. But anyway, nonetheless, this is today's trades. I hope you found this interesting, helpful. Stay tuned for more information. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'd appreciate the support. Have a good one, and we will see you next time.